Well, I think first full day of practice, you get a feel for whether your guys are still thinking about that Air Force win or if they've refocused. What are you seeing out here today?
Just okay. Didn't like the way we practiced. And I shouldn't say for everybody. There's a lot of guys who came ready to go, and some guys were half-stepping it. Too many pats on the back. I mean, we better move on, or it's going to be a very disappointing week. This is a good football team. They've had a tough schedule, one of the toughest schedules in the country. Good football coaches on their team. We better get ready to go. It's going to be a disappointing trip, and we're still the Naval Academy. Right. Haven't won a game on the road for a decade. You know what I mean? Just
it hasn't been quite that long, but it's been.
So we just got to pick things up.
Well, while you're on that topic, I mean, you do need to get that. You got to get a road win. To have a successful season, you got to be able to win on the road.
It has nothing to do with the road win or monkey. You just got to win the next game. I never look at those kinds of things. I mean, you got to win a game. You know what I mean? And so it's the next game, and we got to find a way to win.
This is an explosive team. They put a big number up on SMU. They've scored points on almost everyone they've played. What are you seeing offensively?
They should have beat SMU. I mean, I don't know what SMU's ranked, but they're
21. Yeah.
21. SMU is a really good football team, but they should have won that game.
And you all have played a lot of high-scoring games with them. I went and looked the last 4 games, all the games since you all have both been in this conference. 66 combined points is the average. Do you have to expect another one like that with this?
I mean, whatever it takes to win. I mean, like I said, we got a new team. They got a new team. We got a new defensive coordinator. You know what I mean? And so they got a new defensive coordinator. He's been on the staff, but they, got a new guy. So new season-wise, we just got to find a way, for us, find a way to get a W.
One thing from Saturday that I think you probably would want to address, the turnovers and the penalties. Is that something you'd like to get cleaned up?
I mean, those are things that we always stress. Trying to be really good in turnover margin. I don't have any questions. I don't have any remarks on the penalties. I'll save.
2 of the fumbles were it's a quarterback center exchange, which is the second time that's happened, and one was a mesh fumble. And you got to Perry's a young quarterback just got in there. So, but the quarterback center exchange, is that something you got to emphasize?
No doubt. It's something we been working on for camp, and it's something we got to improve on. It's definitely, we can't have that happen.
Right. I'm doing a story about 2 of your guys, Travis Brannon and Eric Cal. Eric Cal is hoping to be a doctor. Travis Brannon is nominated for this very prestigious academic award, the William V. Campbell Award. He's a 4.0 student. He was telling me today when I interviewed him about some of the classes he takes is ridiculous. What can he say? Do you never cease to amaze you that these midshipmen that play football can be that good at academics? The guy, Travis Brannon's never gotten lower than an A at any level of his schooling.
Well, it's hard enough to go to school here. Like I've always said, the military itself is hard. Most people want to come here because, the military, that's hard. And
football's hard.
Football, Division I football is really, really hard. And academics are really, really hard. I mean, all 3 of those phases are really hard. And so to combine all 3 together, if a guy can find a way to survive, I mean, I have the utmost respect for him. A guy that can do that and he's got a 4.0 and never got a B, I mean, you're just like, what the heck's going on?
Right, that's why I said it. For those of us who didn't ever get A's, how did you do it?
And then you got, Eric Cal that's had a perfect SAT score. Had the highest MCATs here at the school. I mean, he's a brilliant young man, and you just tip your hat to those guys. They're amazing young men.
All right, thanks. All right, well, we're with Eric Cal, who's the center for the Navy football team, and he just was talking off camera, and he said he had. Tell me what your SAT score was.
Is 2220 back when it was still the 3-part SAT. Had a perfect 2-part math and English.
How in the world do you do that? And for someone who struggled in the math part, I'm angry with you.
Parents really stress academics to me. That's one reason I came here to the Naval Academy. Get to play great football. Also get to take some of the best classes with best professors here, and really get to excel in all parts of being a man, being a football player, and being a student athlete.
So I'm told that you would like to pursue medical school. Where does that stand, and is that true?
Yes. So I got the medical core billet here at the academy. So now the next step is I have to get into medical school. Been applying, got a few interviews already Actually got one coming up this weekend after the Tulsa game. But right now, all that's on my mind is Tulsa 1-0, so it's got that.
I was talking to Travis Brannon earlier today, and he told me how proud he is of you, and he said you're the smartest guy on the team, not him. Well, I was going to say, what's your thought on that? Is Travis Brannon pretty smart?
Travis Brannon's a real smart guy. He still has 4.0. He just does everything easily, just comes naturally to him. I joke around, I get lucky a lot of times. But there's a lot of smart people on the team. I mean, like Travis Brannon, he has 4.0. There's me, I do well academically, but there's David Forney. He has an entire 500-page book of plays that he's writing up. He's going to be the next OC to completely run the NFL or something. So there's a lot of smart kids on the team, a lot of different talents. Then there's Jude Heydrich, he can draw, he's real cool. And then there's Ford Higgins, he can pretty much play every instrument after just practicing after a day. So
I know that.
Some great people on this team, real interesting, can never get bored in the locker room.
So Travis was telling me that the medical billet gets done early. Kind of tell us the process of what you had to do to get that, because it's different. The service assignments haven't come out, but this was done in advance.
Yes, so it's kind of done in advance so that we can get the entire process rolling, because you have to apply to schools. Then there's second application process and interviews. So it goes through a process getting approved for the billet so that the academy can endorse you for the billet and then send out their recommendation to the schools saying we endorse Eric or anyone else going for the billet. And then pretty much that's kind of the back end of the work. All the work kind of comes up front, studying classes, taking exams, doing the MCAT, doing all the community service and everything. But it's a process. It's just like football. You got to put in the work in front, and then you get to pay off at the end.
So, but they don't have a pre-med major at the Naval Academy.
No. So I'm a chemistry major, and then some of the classes you need for the pre-medical prerequisites fall into the major. Others are kind of free electives that you just have to take and overload your course schedule. But it's something I want to do, so it's something I don't mind.
Okay. And then where would you like to go to medical school? I mean, we've got a couple choices. What are some of your top choices that you'd like to get into if possible?
So right now I'm not accepted to any, so my number one is the one that accepts me.
I like that answer.
If I have to, if my biggest problem is picking between medical schools, that's a problem I'm well okay with.
Okay, very good. And then how will you use this when you become a doctor? Because I'm confident you will. How will you use this in Naval Academy? You still got to serve the Navy, right?
Yes. So once you graduate, you go straight to medical school. Then once you finish medical school, you go into your residency, to where then you go back, you're in the military, you're doing a military residency. Once you're done with that, then you're a military doctor. I'll be a Navy doctor. And then you serve back your commitment, 5 from the Naval Academy, 4 from medical school, and it starts after residency. And it's great. You get to do some pretty high impact stuff. You can go get deployed overseas, get attached to SEAL units, Marine units. You can go on to Navy ships like the Comfort that's off of Colombia right now, giving medical services to Venezuelan refugees. So it's a great thing. You can help the men and women who are putting their lives at risk for freedoms of the American people, and you can go out and serve our allies and other people that are in underserved populations.
That's fair. Well, I was just talking to a young man, Eric Cal, who's a pretty smart kid. He's going to go to medical school. What have you gotten to know him, and how he is? He is pretty smart, huh?
Yeah, he's very smart, and I got to know him really well. Great kid, great family. Dad went to a school up north that we won't mention. That we won't mention. But no, he's a great kid, and he's a good football player. Tough kid. He's played in 3 games this year. He's been hurt a lot during his career. He's had a knee surgery, so he's missed a lot of time and lost weight and fought his way back. So no, he's kind of what you're looking for here, and he's kind of the poster boy of the Naval Academy. He's smart. He's tough. Does everything the right way. I mean, he's been a joy to coach.
So what did you hear when you heard he's going to medical school? Because, I mean, we know there's a lot of smart guys on this team, but that's taking it to another level, becoming a doctor.
Well, I knew that was his goal all along. And then obviously we've tracked their grades, so we knew it was probably a good possibility. So it didn't surprise me whatsoever.
So you said in regards to playing, you trust him in there playing center?
Oh, yeah. I mean, he knows our offense inside out. He's helped in the past when he was injured, like charting and stuff on the sidelines. So he's a guy we trust big time as a staff. And yeah, I mean, if he has to go in, he'll go in. He'll know exactly what to do, and he'll fight, scratch, and claw, and do everything, and give us a chance to win for sure.
The other thing I was going to ask you about is just give me a little report card on the offensive line to date. I believe you're still leading the nation in rushing, so I think they get some good grades, right?
Oh, I didn't know that, but we're doing some good things. It's like always, we would like to play better. Fundamentally, we'd like to play better. We'd like to play harder. But we're doing a lot of good things. You know, we've got an experienced group that is playing well. Our pass protection was really good the other night. It's probably the thing that stood out the most. You know, we threw the ball a little more against Air Force than we have in the past, and the protection was good. And Malcolm had some clean pockets, so no, we were super excited.
Who has been grading out the highest? Ford?
Ford's playing well. David Forney's playing well. Both tackles. Kendall Wright, you know, had a good game the other night. Billy Honecker's doing well. I mean, they're all playing well. Grading out the highest, you know, we're pretty tough on the grade, so okay. I don't know if that's always the best indication.
So it's pretty much been Kendall, Forney, Ford, Nesterowitz, and Honecker. Right. Have you rolled much?
We have. We didn't roll a lot the other night, but Justin Self is kind of the first tackle in the game, and we kind of see him like a starter. I mean, he's that caliber player. We've played both sides, and we've played other guys. You know, we've had opportunity with some leads in a couple games that we've been able to play quite a few guys. I think there were 2 games that every O-lineman that dressed were able to get reps, which is awesome. I mean, 12 or 13 in a game.
So you have not been rolling the guards as much, huh? Nesterowitz and Forney getting most of the plays?
We had rolled them. Nico Yarmus had been rolling. We did not roll him this past game. You know, we only played 60 snaps, and it was a cooler night.
Didn't really need to.
Right, and Mike Adzima had been rolling as well prior to that. Okay. And I could see that continuing.
And Cal, whenever Ford gets arrested, it's Cal.
Right.
Okay.
Exactly.
We're here with Coach Joe DePay, the slot backs coach for Navy, and I'm working on a feature on Travis Brannon. I met the young man today, and he started telling me all of what he's doing. First of all, he's a 4.0 student. He takes ridiculous classes. He started reading me some of the classes he takes, and it's a lot of engineering stuff that I can't pass, chemistry and all that. And then also he's telling me that he's flying out to Texas or something to work on building. He's got a team that is doing an outside project, just like a real engineer. So what do you say about this kid?
Travis Brannon is an incredible man. You know, here he is, senior year, plays football. His schedule is super busy from the crack of dawn until late after the sun goes down. But the thing is, he's so driven that he's going to succeed in everything that he does. On top of that, he's a great person, great character. You know, he's the kind of guy that you want your family around, you want your friends around, because he has a smile on his face, he works hard, and he's polite, and he's just a man. You know, we talked a lot about being a man, you know, doing things the right way, and, you know, choose the right. Well, Travis is a great example of one of our players doing that. And I tell him all the time, I have tremendous respect for you, Travis, because of everything that you do. Right. When I was your age, I wasn't doing everything that you're doing. And it's remarkable that he can do everything and has so much success as he does it in every part of his life. I mean, really, every part of his life, the guys look up to him with a tremendous amount of respect. And it's just pretty cool to watch him. And I'm humbled to be part of his experience here at the Naval Academy.
We all know how hard it is to attend this place, and the academic rigors and trying to balance football and the military. And I know guys who had great grades in high school, came here and barely kept their head above water and were happy to graduate. What can you say about a guy with a 4.0 at the Naval Academy?
I mean, you said it, you know, it's an incredible guy. I mean, really, he's so driven. Like, he's not going to get an A-. He's going to do everything in his power to get A's. And if that means no sleep, it means no sleep.
Yeah, he told me he steals from his sleeping. That's one he's got to fix that, though.
Yeah, he does, and that'll come with time. But, you know, at the end of the day, he is just that kind of person. He's going to be successful in anything that he chooses to do. And for that, I'm really proud of him, you know, and it's something that comes from within. It's nothing that we're telling him to do or his professors are telling him to do. It truly is something that comes from within with Travis. And that's special when you see that. And you see a lot of that here at the Academy. There's some special young men here. Travis is one of those kids that's just cream of the crop.
So let's talk about him as a football player. He was a Texas 5A Player of the Year, so he's no slouch coming out of high school. But he said he walked into that slot back room as a freshman and went, I'm never going to play here. but he has worked and worked and worked and finally found a role. They said you can get on the field of special teams, so he busted hump to get on special teams. Just talk about his development as a player, Coach.
Well, it's been really fun to watch. And going back to his high school career, I went to Travis's high school. I recruit that area. And he has pictures on the wall. He's got murals. I mean, right. he was the man. Yeah. And I can't tell you exact stats, but there are a couple games where he was 200-plus yards rushing. And, I mean, maybe one that 300-plus yards rushing, but just a dominant football player in high school.
And that was a good high school.
A really good high school.
They were reaching Texas State semifinals and quarterfinals.
Great program. And now that he's here, you know, he had to work his way through, you know, his freshman year, sophomore year. Finally, his junior year, he got onto some special teams. And you really saw Travis develop as a football player when he got on special teams and became not just a role player on special teams, but became quickly one of the best players on our special teams unit. Obviously, that led to this year and the play that he's given us at A-back, you know.
Yeah, he said he's in the rotation.
He's in the rotation, you know, and he's physical. He plays all of our special teams. He's one of our very, very best players on special teams. And he does a great job. It's not like he's just on the teams. He dominates his position on the teams that he's on. And certainly with that, you know, you get banged up a little bit and that's part of football and he just grinds right through it, you know. So it's fun to watch him just continue to grind. And as we know, as our bodies get a little bit older, they're not as fresh all the time and it's not going to slow him down one bit. He's just one of those guys that keeps battling and having great success. I loved watching him play special teams this past Saturday because he was really, really, really good and dominated his guy each and every time.